local court head of art.
He was the preacher everybody's been talking
Preacher
about.
man telling everybody to hush up back home.
Yeah, he's not in Letcher County anymore, so we're going to...
He resigned from his church in Letcher County.
The sheriff is claiming that it was the judge who brought him, the sheriff, in on the sex ring, meaning favors to inmates if they come into chambers and perform sex acts. And
I discovered an inconsistency, or some might call it a lie. I want you to listen to this clip.
I was driving to Moorhead. I got a call from Frankfurt. It's Governor Benner's office. Mr. Clark, this is him. On the side of the road, I was praising the Lord, forgiving him. I didn't even apply for the pardon.
I'm going to assume it's this pardon. Let's read this one line together. Whereas it is my privilege to grant him the full and unconditional pardon that he has requested. I realize this is a small lie, but it makes me wonder what else could he be lying about?
The defense attorney representing Sheriff Stein is Jeremy Bartley. Jeremy, that meeting or that get-together in the chambers before lunch, what was going on there?
First thing that strikes me again, Vinny, is the fact that we even have a live feed in a judge's chambers. That's the first thing that speaks to me. So in terms of the setting, the next thing that speaks to me is the informality. It's been my experience that even when even if I know a judge on a personal basis, there's a formality to a judge's chambers. There's in general, it's usually reserved for members of the bar. In general, there's some sort of decorum. I'm not saying that there aren't relaxed conversations, but the powwow that we see here is just indicative of the attitude that was reflected in these chambers. And it's the same atmosphere that allowed for the victimization of the females in those chambers. Specifically, we know Ben Fields has pled guilty to illegal sexual action within a judge's chambers. It's just unheard of. In general, you have to have permission from the judge to be in a judge's chambers. And again, there's a manner of decorum. And that's completely missing here. And I think that is what this video speaks to me.
Remember Ben Fields, the bailiff for Judge Kevin Mullins? He was the same judge who was fatally shot by Sheriff Mickey Steins there in Letcher County, Kentucky, back in September of last year. Let's talk about this. Now, as you recall, Ben Fields was sentenced to 6 months in jail and then probation for allegedly raping a woman inside of the chambers of Judge Kevin Mullins. That's why cameras were put in there in the first place. Remember, we saw his life being taken then by the sheriff right there on camera. This guy's the reason cameras were put in there. U.S. District Judge Robert Wire has denied motions to dismiss a civil rights lawsuit against him. That's right. That means this case is going forward and officially heading to a jury trial in early 2026. And here is why this is such a big deal, okay? He is been convicted of already third-degree rape, third-degree sodomy, and tampering with a prison monitoring device, and a second-degree perjury. Yet he only spent 6 months in prison. Does this seem fair, first and foremost, before we even move on to the rest of the news? But above and beyond that, now there's a civil lawsuit out there from one of the victims. Her name is Sandra Atkins. She accuses him of coercing women under his supervision during home incarceration. Court documents say Fields would offer a deal. He would lower the ankle monitor fees. First of all, how was he even in charge of this? In exchange for you-know-what in the judge's chambers. The judge says a jury needs to decide on whether or not this consent by Atkins was even real. He says it was consensual. Atkins says, no way. But that's not all. This allows the charges against the Letcher County Sheriff's Office to move forward. Because remember, they say that Mickey Steins inadequately trained the officers, allowing such actions to have happened in the first place. So this raises a bigger question. Was this just one deputy gone rogue, or was it part of a systematic failure where the whole office knew about it and just overlooked it? It's worth noting that the judge did dismiss claims brought by another victim because of statute of limitations. So, a status report is now going to be available and is due by October the 6th, 2025. So here's the big question. Do you think the Letcher County Sheriff's Office should be held accountable for what this guy done and possibly others? Listen, does anybody else want to come forward? Does anybody else have a story that you would like to tell from within the jail, that you worked there or you were a former inmate? Let me know. Message me and make sure you bookmark this so you can find your way back.
I mean, you're saying it like it's so normal, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So the judge would have sex with inmates from the jail?
Yes.
And you saw it?
Yes. I was part of it. I was one of them. Not just from being in jail, like coming in off the street and seeing them. Yeah.
How did they keep it a secret?
It wasn't a secret. Wasn't a secret.
Why did you feel like you had to have sex with the judge?
Because he's the one with the power. He holds my entire life in his hands. He's the one that makes the decisions over whether I get to keep my children or not. He's the one that makes the decisions on whether I go to jail.
Did anything ever happen to you in the jail?
Yeah, all sorts
I mean,
of
because you talk
things.
about having sex with the judge, but that was mostly when you were out, right? Trying to avoid.
Yeah.
Did the judge ever say, you have to do this, or if you do this,
You come see me 3 times and we'll take care of this. If it's a ticket or something, you know, or you get some minor charge, some petty charge. Come visit me a few times, we'll take care of it.
He would say that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And how many women do you think were also doing this?
Total over the years, hundreds. Yeah. And not just for the women who had charges. Like if your man or somebody, your child is in there, then you could go see him for that too.